Imagine a starting gun going off. The alarm rings, and before your eyes are even fully open, your hand is just blindly reaching into the dark for a glowing screen.
Right, reaching right for the phone. Yeah, I mean, it's almost an involuntary reflex for most of us at this point.
Exactly. You wake up and immediately, you open the floodgates to urgent work emails, unread social media notifications, heavy world news. Mentally, you are running a marathon before your feet have even touched the floor.
Which is just a really harsh, jarring way to start the day.
It really is. So, welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are exploring a fascinating concept from a guide called the Golden Morning Hour. And the mission here is to figure out exactly how to stop waking up anxious.
Right. And instead, how to build a protective energy shield for your day.
Exactly. And because this conversation is specifically crafted with English learners in mind, we're keeping our pace deliberate and clear. We want to highlight some of the really beautiful, calming English vocabulary from the source material.
Yeah, so you can naturally use it to articulate your own experiences, which honestly is a perfect approach because the language we use to describe our routines directly impacts how we experience them.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, savoring the vocabulary mirrors the entire philosophy of this guide. Slowing down to regain control of your attention.
Right, slowing down. So let's look at that specific moment we just described, grabbing the phone in the dark. The source material has a specific clinical term for the result of that action. It plunges you into what psychologists call a reactive state.
A reactive state.
Yeah, I love that phrase, reactive state, because it perfectly captures that feeling of being completely out of control. Like you aren't acting upon the world, you were just reacting to it.
Exactly. And the underlying biology of that state is what makes it so damaging. When we are asleep, our bodies are in a parasympathetic state. That is the rest and digest mode.
Right. Our heart rate is low, breathing is deep.
Defenses are completely down. But when the very first thing you process is an urgent email or a stressful political headline, you forcefully shock your nervous system.
You push it into a sympathetic state.
Right, that fight or flight response. You are triggering a massive spike in cortisol, which is the body's primary stress hormone, before your physical body is even fully awake.
Oh, wow. It sounds like opening your front door to 50 people screaming their demands at you while you are still standing there in your pajamas.
That is a very accurate way to picture it, yeah. By letting external information dominate your brain right away, you set a passive defensive tone for your entire day.
So you spend the next 12 hours essentially bracing for the next notification.
Right, which creates a low-level chronic anxiety. Furthermore, you are instantly hijacking your brain's dopamine system, training it to seek quick digital rewards rather than sustained focus.
Our source actually provides a great English sentence to describe this exact experience. I immediately fall into a reactive state after waking up.
I immediately fall into a reactive state after waking up.
It really emphasizes how sudden the drop is,
Yeah.
You just fall right into it. And speaking of sudden drops in energy, there is another incredibly relatable phrase from the text. My morning energy is stolen by notifications.
Stolen! It's such a strong word there. It implies a literal theft.
Because it is a theft, right? Your cognitive energy isn't just evaporating naturally.
No, it is being actively consumed by those morning intrusions. The first hour of the day is just incredibly fragile. The way you handle that specific window of time basically establishes the baseline for your nervous system for the rest of your waking hours.
Okay, but let me offer a little pushback here on behalf of, the modern worker. What if I actually need to check my phone for a morning meeting update?
Sure.
Or maybe I am waiting on an urgent message from a family member who lives in a different time zone. Isn't being a little reactive just the unavoidable cost of living in a hyper-connected world?
Well, those are real responsibilities. And the source material doesn't suggest ignoring your life or pretending you live in a secluded monastery.
Right, which is good.
The core issue here is purely about timing. Think of your waking brain like a cold car engine in the middle of winter. You wouldn't just turn the key and immediately merge onto a 70-mile-per-hour highway.
No, definitely not.
The engine needs a moment to idle, to warm up so it doesn't stall. By yielding that first fragile hour, or even just the first 30 minutes, you completely surrender your baseline energy.
So it's really about delaying the onset of the chaos.
Precisely. Even if you absolutely must be online to check those global emails, delaying that connection gives your brain a moment to boot up on its own terms.
So when you do finally look at the screen, you are processing those demands from a place of neurological stability.
Rather than a place of sudden panic, yes.
Right. So if our brains are biologically hardwired to panic when we look at a screen right after waking up,
Yeah.
how do we safely warm up that engine? Like, what does the alternative actually look like?
Well, this introduces the central concept of the guide, the golden morning hour, and the practice of building an energy shield. But we should probably clarify what this is not first.
Good point. Because when people hear terms like morning routine, they often immediately picture extreme hustle culture.
Oh, definitely. The toxic productivity trend on social media.
Waking up at 4 in the morning, running 10 miles in the dark, drinking some terrible raw egg smoothie.
Right, and reading 3 business books before the sun comes up.
Yeah. But the source makes it emphatically clear that this guide is the opposite of that trend. The golden morning hour is a psychological concept, not a productivity competition.
Exactly. It is simply the intentional creation of a shielded environment by staying offline for the first 30 to 60 minutes of your day.
Stay offline. That is a key vocabulary term here. To stay offline means intentionally disconnecting from the internet, from social media, from emails.
And by staying offline, the text says we can shift from an anxious mindset to a proactive mindset. Proactive is the exact opposite of reactive.
Right. It means taking control of a situation before things happen.
When you are proactive in the morning, you refuse to receive external signals before your first sip of water. The anxious mindset tells you that you're being lazy if you aren't immediately working.
But the proactive mindset recognizes that slowing down actively fills your energy cup.
Giving you the actual capacity to handle the world's demands later on.
There are some really beautiful declarations in the text that capture this proactive state. One of them is, "My morning belongs to me, not the world."
My morning belongs to me, not the world. I love the firm boundary that sentence sets.
Another one is, "Build an energy shield for your morning." And one more that really stood out to me, "The first hour of the day belongs to my soul."
Those phrases are all tools to help build what the guide calls a psychic sanctuary.
A psychic sanctuary, a mental safe space where the noise of the outside world isn't allowed to enter.
Right.
But practically speaking, how does that work in a physical room? Like, if I wake up and I don't touch my phone and I'm just sitting there trying to stay offline in this psychic sanctuary, won't my brain just start anxiously making mental to-do lists anyway?
Yeah, that's a common fear.
How do I actually use that blank space without my own mind sabotaging the peace?
Well, our brains are highly conditioned to seek out constant stimulation, so the urge to mentally organize a to-do list is entirely natural.
Okay, so it's normal.
Oh, very normal. The goal here isn't to force a perfectly blank, meditative mind. Trying to force your brain to think about absolutely nothing usually backfires and causes more stress.
So what are we supposed to do instead?
The goal is sensory redirection. You are deliberately choosing what to focus your physical senses on rather than having a digital app hijack your attention. You are shifting from a chaotic digital defense to a quiet physical offense.
That distinction between abstract digital threats and physical reality brings us to the actual execution of this routine. The guide provides a very specific 3-step routine for tomorrow morning.
Right. They call it the golden hour grounding ritual.
Grounding ritual. Let's look at that term. Grounding refers to bringing your focus back to the present physical moment, usually to calm severe anxiety.
Yeah, so a grounding ritual is a set of physical actions designed to anchor you in the now. Let's walk through what these 3 steps actually are.
Step 1 is to gaze at the light. So when you wake up, leave the phone alone, sit up, or lean against your pillows and look for the dawn.
Even if it is just a foggy gray light coming through the gaps in your curtains, the instruction is to watch that natural light for 1 minute and imagine it gently wiping your waking consciousness clean.
Dawn, D-A-W-N. The very first appearance of light in the sky in the morning. And there is a real biological reason for choosing dawn light over a phone screen, right? Like, it isn't just about the poetry of a sunrise.
No, it comes down to our circadian rhythms and our hormonal balance. You see, the harsh blue light of a screen suppresses melatonin and aggressively tells your brain it is the middle of the day.
Which totally shocks your system.
Exactly. Natural morning light, even if it is dim or cloudy, gently signals to your brain that a new cycle is beginning organically. It asks absolutely nothing of you.
It is entirely passive.
Right, allowing your nervous system to wake up gradually and naturally.
Okay, so we've gazed at the dawn light to reset our circadian rhythm. What is step 2?
Step 2 is to sip in silence. You walk into the kitchen and you pour yourself a glass of warm water. The crucial part here isn't just hydration. It is focusing entirely on the physical sensation.
You feel the heat of the mug radiating into your hands. You drink the water slowly.
And the source offers a really fascinating, almost rebellious phrase to tell your body at this moment. The phrase is, "We are legal to move slowly."
We are legal to move slowly. Think about the wording there. It is like giving yourself official authorized permission to break the law of modern rushing.
Which is needed because we often carry the subconscious guilt when we aren't rushing, as if we are breaking a societal rule by not being instantly productive.
Right, we feel guilty for just standing there.
Exactly. But drinking warm water and focusing on that heat is a profound sensory grounding technique. When morning anxiety is running high, it is usually because our minds are trapped in abstract digital concepts.
Like emails that haven't been answered or news events happening thousands of miles away.
Right. Feeling the physical warmth of a mug instantly lowers your heart rate. It sends a direct biological signal to the amygdala, the fear and processing center of your brain, that you're safe.
Your body realizes, I'm just standing in my kitchen. There is no immediate physical threat.
You are essentially using temperature to prove to your nervous system that it is safe to lower its guard.
That is incredibly practical. And that leads us to step 3.
Step 3 is to anchor an intention. You sit down, you place your bare feet flat on the warm floor, feeling the solid ground supporting your weight. You take a deep, long breath, keeping your spine straight.
And you set a gentle, low-pressure intention for the day. Anchor an intention. To anchor something is to secure it firmly so it doesn't drift away in the current.
And an intention is simply an aim or a plan.
So to anchor an intention means to firmly secure your mindset for the day ahead. And the guide gives a beautiful example of an intention. Today, I choose peace over rush.
Today, I choose peace over rush. It is profoundly simple, but it completely changes your trajectory. You are no longer reacting defensively to whatever the world throws at you. You are deciding in advance how you will interact with the world.
To seal this entire 3-step ritual, the text provides a closing affirmation. It is designed to be spoken with a calm, deliberate pace. It is meant to channel what the guide calls quiet strength.
Quiet strength is a lovely concept. I mean, it's power that doesn't need to be loud, fast, or frantic to be highly effective.
This affirmation acts as the final lock on your energy shield. It synthesizes everything we've discussed, claiming your time, rejecting the reactive state, and moving forward deliberately.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to read this affirmation for you. Listen to the rhythm of the words and the boundaries they set. This is my golden hour. The world can wait. I shield my peace. I anchor my soul, and I step into this day with quiet strength.
That really does feel incredibly grounding just to say out loud.
It does. This is my golden hour, claiming the time as your own property. The world can wait, pushing back against those morning intrusions and the urge to check the phone.
Right, and I shield my peace. I anchor my soul, which really cements that proactive mindset.
Exactly. It creates a clear demarcation line between the vulnerable state of sleep and the demands of the waking world. You are fully armored before you step onto the battlefield.
Which makes all the difference.
Let's recap the journey we've taken on this deep dive. We started by looking at the very real biological danger of the modern morning routine, that immediate plunge into the reactive state where cortisol spikes and digital notifications steal our energy before our feet even hit the floor.
Right, and then we explored the alternative, shifting to a proactive mindset by building a psychic sanctuary.
Intentionally staying offline for the first 30 to 60 minutes to give your brain's engine the necessary time to warm up.
And finally, we broke down the physical roadmap to actually get there. The 3-step grounding ritual. Gazing at the dawn light to gently reset your circadian rhythm.
Sipping warm water in silence. Using sensory grounding to remind your amygdala that you are legal to move slowly.
And anchoring an intention to consciously choose peace over rush. It is a highly practical toolkit, rooted in both human psychology and biology, for anyone who feels overwhelmed by the mere thought of waking up.
For you listening, I strongly encourage you to try using these English phrases out loud as you go through your own morning routine tomorrow. Let the language itself become a physical part of your grounding ritual.
Definitely. Tomorrow morning, when that starting gun goes off and the alarm rings, the choice is entirely yours. You can open the door to the chaos and let it steal your energy, or you can build your energy shield.
It takes a little practice to break the digital reflex, but the resulting shift in your daily anxiety levels is profound. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final, slightly provocative thought to mull over on your own.
Oh, I like where this is going.
We've spent this entire time talking about the profound biological and psychological impact of the first hour of the day. We've seen how simply changing the first 30 minutes can completely rewire our nervous system, pull us out of chronic anxiety, and build this incredible protective shield.
It truly dictates the terms of engagement for your whole day.
But think about this. What might happen if we took this exact same logic, this exact same offline sanctuary rule, and applied it to the last 30 minutes of our day, right before we fall asleep?
Oh, wow.
Right. If we need to carefully put on our armor before stepping out into the world in the morning, shouldn't we be just as careful about how we take that armor off at night?